Hello and good evening. Um, yes, I don't know if you can hear me. I hope you can. I'm here in this Google Chrome, but here I am in the winter sitting room. My house is not very grand, but it does have two sitting rooms. So there we are. So here we are in a different area of the house um, after a long day on Broadstairs being in top form. So the weather is good here and there are no storms, though there is noises coming from the pipes from down below because a certain person is washing up. I I'm sorry for the noise, but anyway, here we are, and a wonderful evening to you. Um, so um, let's begin with what I think is the interesting topic of the day: the backlash against Cliff Richard. Now, yesterday we talked about Fergie, and I'll come to Fergie and her pathetic specimen of a husband, Prince Andrew, and what they've been up to shortly. I say cheers to their downfall. My drink even matches my jumper. So, Cliff Richard on This Morning yesterday did a bit of what they call fat shaming. He shamed the lady Alison Hammond. I did talk about it briefly yesterday, but it's gone viral today on the Twitterati. Now, one Twitter user says Elvis ate 22 Big Macs in 1 hour to avoid meeting Cliff Richard. Shared a picture, 1975. Could you blame Elvis Presley for wanting to avoid to spend time with that revolting, creepy Christian crooner, the old crone who got changed on a number of occasions because he only met Lord Boothby once, but seemed to have rather a lot of outfits with Lord Boothby and the Krays when he was photographed with them. Creepy Christian crooner who went to Cilla Black's funeral, and please don't watch the video. I've played it to some of the most famous people in the world, the most influential people in the world who I've met. They always say, what is your problem with this man, Cliff Richard? And I show them that video of him singing at Cilla's funeral. Cilla Black, or Priscilla White, as she should be known. Priscilla White, or Cilla Black, funeral. He treated it like a pop concert. This deranged male diva is off his merry rocker. Him and his cheap, nasty plonk that tastes like vinegar, that he made a fool of himself on, the F word with Gordon Ramsay over. This is a man with the most bizarre obsession with self-promotion. Every year he brings out a calendar, and if he isn't number one on the list of calendars. Now, do people buy calendars anymore? I know down here at the Magnet, they do sell a calendar of the local dogs, and the local people love their calendars. I don't use a calendar myself because I don't. I just write things down. And I used to have a diary. I used to get given every year for Christmas an economist diary. A wonderful lady used to give this to me as a Christmas gift, and it cost about £300-400. And frankly, one doesn't use these things. They're a waste of money. One does not need a diary in this era. I take notes in my notebooks, and I admit I write everything down in notebooks. I'm very old-fashioned in that regard. But Cliff's calendar should be thrown off the cliff. We don't need any more calendars from you, especially with you topless, you weird freak, Cliff Richard. You are the strangest oddity I've ever And frankly, I've been lucky never to have met you. I've never been in the same room as you. I had to sit next to Cilla Black at a dinner, and God rest her soul, but she was an oddity also. A very, very strange, weird woman. And the likes of the friends of Cliff Richard, Gloria Hunniford, for example, who was dancing around like a little hyena yesterday. These people who big you up, Cliff Richard. Let's see what happens when you die. That's all I shall have to say on that topic. But, well, Twitter didn't like the way Cliff is a bully. He mocks other people and then cries on his bathroom floor. And Cliff has been moaning he was just cancelled. Oh, it's not fair, he says, that people are gathering in Memphis, says one on Twitter, to burn Cliff Richard's calendars. Insulting Elvis Presley and saying he didn't want him on his fridge because he didn't want a memory of him looking fat. Well, Elvis Presley will go down in history as a talent. Cliff Richard will go down as a weirdo, a freak, a frivolity, an absolute plastic, not fantastic, gross, Botoxed oddity. And, him and his cheap wine from Portugal, pour it down the bloody drain. It can go with Philip Schofield's horrible plonk. The two of them belong together. And it's no wonder that Fergie, the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, decided to invite him as a guest onto that ridiculous show this morning. Gloria. Yes, Gloria will be on Loose Women tomorrow, says Bernadette. Well, I call her Inglorious Hunniford. Her son is perfectly pleasant, and her daughter was a very perfectly pleasant person. But Gloria Hunniford has gone to the dark side in hanging around with this kind of person. So I'm very sorry to say it, Gloria, but you have really shown you are the weakest link. And it's about time someone told you goodbye. Enough is enough. Gloria Hunniford is an absolute bore. No thank you to Gloria Hunniford. Absolutely appalling person. Anyway, she hangs around with people like him. Says it all. Bit like Cilla when Rolf Harris died. She was outside the Ivy restaurant and she went, "Oh no, that can't be true," and looked very angry. Now, Cilla Black had no good judgment. I don't think Gloria Hunniford has any good judgment either. So let's leave it at that on that one. Natural beauty does not need to do chat shows, said another Twitter user. I'd much rather have Alison Hammond at my dinner party than Cliff Richard, added another. Well, so would I. I don't know Alison Hammond, never met her. I think the show she presents is a bag of bilge and a load of rubbish, but she seems like a perfectly likable woman. I bet she's quite fun. She looks like she's the kind of person who'd have a laugh. I don't have a problem with her. No issue at all. One other added. My favourite song at Christmas time, pickled in brine. That is what he is. That freak, Cliff Richard. What a freak. Anyway, why did Martin Frizzle, Mr. Aubergine Lover, allow on this weirdo in the first place? That is something I shall be asking. Why? What is wrong with this Frizzle? Does he want to destroy his show so much? He's already been dragged before the House of Commons Culture, Media and Sport Committee to discuss this. This has all been the chiefs of ITV. The shame they bring upon themselves. It is time to close down this morning. Please go on my change.org petition. Please sign it. Let's help get rid of the scourge on society that has on, some old granny who talks about her sex life with an Egyptian toy boy who now she's ditched, or he's ditched her. you know, that is, it is tacky, it's tawdry, and it's vulgar. It's up there with these programs like Loose Women, which also should be axed. If there were a program called Misogynist Men, it would be slated. But we're allowed to have a program called Loose Women, where women cackle about their sex lives. It is disgusting. We can't have misogynist men, but we can have loose women. It is totally hypocritical and wrong. I am not a supporter of the likes of Andrew Tate. I'm not a supporter of the likes of Gloria Hunniford. But loose women is a revolting concept. It is disgusting, it's tacky, and it's wrong. So I say cancel all of that. Let's have some good taste and decency brought back into broadcasting. That would be a much better use of ITV's daytime schedule. Let's get on and do that. So please write to them and complain, and please sign my petition on change.org demanding that they scrap loose women. Sorry, this morning I've also got one against loose women, but not many people signed that. That was years ago. But I do hope it would work. And also sign my petitions against the appalling animal abusers Larissa Switlick and Merrilies van der Meer, a woman whose husband paid for her to go and kill a giraffe for Valentine's Day. That is utterly sickening also. These people are awful. Busted says Angela Rippon seems a bit superior. Well, I think she's a bit superior up her own arse, yes. I'm no great fan of Angela Rippon. Angela Ripoff, more like, she does rip off Britain, but no thanks to her either. No thanks to any of them, and no thanks to Tamara Eccleston, the daughter of a convicted criminal fraudster who appears on such a show, and no thanks to all these tawdry people like that hideous woman whose baby father was the man who threw acid all over people in a nightclub, Fern McCann, who was with a man called Arthur Collins, and she named the child Sunday after the attack occurred on a Sunday. Charming little evil person that she is. Absolutely sickening and wrong she is. She's a total wrong 'un. Lock her up with the worst of them. Disgusting piece of filth. No, I will not tolerate these terrible people. Anyway, Wake Up with Steeples. That would be a good program, says Joanna. Well, I get up very early. I wake up generally at around 5:30 a.m., so I would be a little early for most of you. So I don't think you'd want that, but you'd like Steeples at lunch. Well, I do love a good lunch. As I've always said, I have a friend called Steve the Lunch, and Steve goes to lunch to plan the next lunch. I think that's a lovely concept. I do like Steve the Lunch's way of living. I haven't seen him in a while, but I wish Steve the Lunch all the very best if he's watching or listening. Anyway, I have to say we shall move along. So today I got blocked on Twitter by somebody called Ben Leo. Now, Ben Leo is a presenter of that bag of garbage program, if you put it in reverse, BG, not GB, GB News. So Ben Leo is one of their roster of presenters, and he has blocked me. I don't know what I did to offend this person, because I've never written to him personally. He's obviously a very angry piece of junk called Ben Leo. I don't know what he presents because I don't watch it, but I found out that he blocked me because it somehow came up. I don't know why or how, but he doesn't look like he has been to the wardrobe department of anywhere other than Next. He really could do with some help in his sartorial style. But anyway, he joins a great roster, Sir Christopher Mayer. I saw him off, and now he's brown bread, and I'm very glad that he's gone because he was a nasty piece of toe rag, along with his nasty wife, who is in the House of Lords, and also is the woman who nominated the alleged daughter of, a certain former prime minister. Won't say her name because I don't want to get into a libel suit. But there we go. I'm also blocked by Diane Abbott, the woman who put on 2 left shoes. She's not exactly bright. She's got a child that bites police officers' noses. She's a really odd person. The former lover of Jeremy Corbyn. You couldn't make her up. She's totally nuts. Boy George, a friend of mine was chained to a radiator by that monster and went to prison for what he did. He is an utter disgrace. I'm very honoured to be blocked by Boy George, and I'm very honoured to support my friend, the lovely Auden Carlson, who is a delightful gentleman who now lives in Norway and is a very kind-hearted, wonderful person. And many of my friends know him and like his company. Good people stick together. Okay, he's had his own problems in his past, but he has built his life up again, and he's having a wonderful life. Boy George is still a piece of poison, and the BBC choose to promote him. Shame on you, the BBC. Paul Nuttall, who was once leader of UKIP, he blocked me. And then, his antithesis, Owen Jones, that left-wing whinging freak who can't work out whether he's far left or far right. He sits in the middle of the two, quite frankly. He's absolutely ghastly. Absolute honour to be blocked by him and another communist, Emma Denko, the former MP for Kensington, deranged woman who is trying to stand as an independent candidate. I think she needs to seek she needs to seek a safe space. She's completely nuts. And even though I can't stand Felicity Buchan, who is, lives in Walton Street and was the town drunk, she is not suitable to be MP, but I'd rather have her than Emma Denko. My biggest honour ever is to be blocked by Michael Barrymore. Now, Barrymore had a party. 9 people went to that party and 8 of them lived. And a gentleman called Stuart Lubbock, never forget his name, who was a victim. And, I have interviewed his ex-wife. I've spent time talking to members of his family and people involved in this case. Always remember Stuart Lubbock, and always remember that Michael Barrymore ran away before the police arrived. That is what matters. So Michael Barrymore has blocked me on Twitter also. Then there was a man called Ben Fiberisma. Now, Ben Fiberisma, I'd forgotten about. No, I don't know if I've still got him, but anyway, he went to jail and he blocked me on Twitter because I dared to speak about that nasty little rat. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because he doesn't deserve the publicity. Then there was Pam Ayres, the lovely Pam, or as I call her, Spam Ayres. Spam Spare. She should be up there with Harry. She could be Harry's new godmother. She does have a look of, that sort of role in life. And she blocked me and wrote a poem about me. I was honoured by that. And then, of course, finally, I'll give you one more. There are plenty of others, I'm sure. But George Galloway, that apologist for all sorts of nonsense and provocateur and ranting, rabid dog. That's where I feel on that. So there we go. Anyway, so that is the situation with me being blocked by Ben Leo of GB News. So we will talk next about some other matters. And those other matters are coming up right now. So, but The first of them I shall deal with, since it's the first of them I've found, is Laurence Fox. Now, Laurence Fox used to be a harmless little actor who happened to be married to a woman called Lee Piper. And, he had a perfectly respectable career, and he was part of the Fox family dynasty of actors. And he was somebody who, people didn't mind, but he went a little bit nuts, didn't he? And he's now in court for a libel case. Now, Simon Coates calls him a gatekeeper. Harriet says she can't stand Fox. But he is now being sued, and he's turned up at the High Court with his new American girlfriend, who is one of those coronavirus deniers who says, I will not comply, da 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 da. And yes, he is trying to have the whole thing thrown out on the basis that he thinks that the judge and jury, or the judge, will be biased. Mr. Justice Nicklin responded, the defendant has not satisfied me that a fair-minded and informed observer would conclude that there was a real possibility that a judge trying this case alone would suffer from involuntary bias. The fair-minded and informed observer must be taken to know that, faithful to her judicial oath, the judge in the case would be required to apply the law to the determination of the issues in the case without fear or favor, affection, or ill will. Now, this man is somebody who protests too much. He is ridiculous. He secured £5 million in donations, allegedly. Now, whether that's true or not, we don't know, for his Reform Party. I think it was called Reform. I mix up these various parties. Reclaim, sorry. His was called Reclaim. I mix him up with the dreadful Isabel Oakeshott and Richard Tice. They are called Reform. Sorry for that. I do apologise. When I make an error, I do correct it. Shame I haven't got more whiskey up here, but I'll have to send down below shortly to David. Anyway, here we go. So Mr. Fox, is in court, and he's against these equally ridiculous people, I would say. A former RuPaul drag race contestant whose real name is Colin Seymour. And he's been moaning about Sainsbury's and a trustee of Stonewall. Now, I am no great advocate for any of this LGBTQ plus XYZ, I call myself a dragon stuff. But I think we should respect people from all backgrounds, gay, straight, lesbian, whatever you want to be. But I don't think we need any of this rammed down our necks. But equally, I do think that Mr. Fox calling these people the names he called them was offensive. So let's see what the judge has to say about that. So there we go. That is that matter dealt with. But I honestly think it is very sad and pathetic that a harmless actor has morphed into a complete nut job. And that is what I think he has become. He has something a little unhinged about him. Meanwhile, I will go on to another bunch of unhinged people, the Brangelina lot. So, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, a couple who have made gazillions and have adopted all these children and have had children of their own, are now having fights via their own children, it seems. one of the children, called Pax Jolie Pitt, now he's age 19, decided to post a thing saying that his father was a world-class AR hole and a F star awful human being, basically. And there have been responses. This boy claims that his father is a terrible and despicable person, his adopted father. This boy comes from, very difficult background. And then there's a whole row over a vineyard. And it seems that Mr. and Mrs. Pitt, as they once were, seem to be going to war on one another. It is utterly ridiculous. Conduct your divorce battles and your battles with your family with dignity, Mr. and Mrs. Pitt. It might do you better. It is appalling that these children are being dragged into this little war between the pair of you over a vineyard. I haven't visited the Miraval vineyard, but I'm told it's a beautiful place. It's not that far from where I was. I probably should have gone. I don't know whether you can visit it or whether it's totally private. It has a website, I know that. I did have a look at it. I'm told the wine is not too bad. It's not too shabby at all. But, absolutely ludicrous that these children are being dragged into a war. My parents are divorced. Divorce is difficult. I've seen various families go through wars of divorce, and it's better off at the end of the day if you come together and you say, let's be pleasant to one another. Doesn't matter who you are, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, but this Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, it's all part of the little spectacle, and it's all silly. So they should grow up, man up, and show up and support all their children. And the children should be kept off the internet because, frankly, it's not helping anybody. It's an instance of stupidity and moronic behavior. There is utterly no need for it now, and there's no need for it on any day of the week. Please put a stop to it. That's what I say to you, Brad and Angelina. Brangelina, just have a bit of peace. Time out. Okay, so that's my view on them. Meanwhile, another one who needs to pipe down, a man called Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk is being sued. He's being sued by a young man, a poor young man called Ben Brody. And Ben Brody says his life was going just fine. He'd finished law school, he'd finished college, he'd stayed out of trouble, according to CNN, and was prepping for law school. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, Elon Musk used his considerable social media clout to amplify an online mob's misguided rants accusing the 22-year-old from California of being an undercover agent in a neo-Nazi group. This boy was nothing to do with neo-Nazism. He was just a harmless boy. But Elon Musk urged this pylon and shared with his 150 million, as I believe it is right now, followers to basically ruin this 22-year-old's life. Now, that is a terrible thing to do to somebody who clearly has done nothing wrong. That is absolutely shocking. And this boy is rightly fighting back. Considering he's Jewish, he is, he didn't like the fact that he was being accused of what he was. He said he'd accused of being a Fed planted by a neo-Nazi group. Well, if you're Jewish, that's very upsetting. If you're anybody, it's very upsetting to be attacked. And he has hired, he has been contacted and is involved with the lawyer who represented the people who sued. the conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, another nasty piece of toe rag, over his lies about the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre. Now, this is absolutely shocking that, this man, Elon Musk, he hangs around with Rishi Sunak, Dishy Rishi. And, he comes out with things like this. Shame on our Prime Minister for getting involved with this. But our Prime Minister only cares about his future. Our Prime Minister cares about being involved with the tech billionaires in his new life when he loses the election. I don't want Keir Starmer to win the election, but when Rishi Sunak loses the election, where is Dishy Rishi off to? He's off to the land of his beloved California, which I love California, nothing wrong with it, but he will be going there on his wife's billions. And he couldn't give a damn about you or me. Now, this poor boy, quite rightly, Mr. Brodie, is fighting back. He has had to go through hell, and I urge you to read an article. I'm going to share it with you. I've never done this before. I don't know if you can read this, but there we go. There's that. So I hope you can read this at your leisure, and I hope that you read the CNN article, and I hope you support this man, Mr. Brodie, because it is totally wrong that a billionaire bully can treat some young person who's done nothing wrong and has been defamed and is distraught at what has happened to him. And I don't blame him for getting a lawyer. Lawyer up and sue the arse off that bastard. That's what I say. Sue his ass. That is what you should do. And I support him entirely. And I shall be writing about him also. I've also written about the Fergay incident. And I shall have to share with you that. Here's Mr. Fibromesa. Here you are. You can read this one first. Read that on, and I'm going to give you the article to read, which I hope you will read, which is my most recent one on the dreaded Fergay. So, there we are. I shall say, there you are. There's 3 bits of reading material for you. Perhaps I shall have to provide a reading material in future episodes. Anyway, here we are, and here we're still going. So I shall go on to the next topic, which is a bit more positive. Now, I have to say, I'm not impressed with the Chancellor's budget overall, but I have to say it could have been a hell of a lot worse. The Chancellor has thrown a bone to all of us because, of course, they want to win an election. They've got very little chance. But at least they froze the duty on alcohol. Now, down here in Broadstairs, beer at the Magnet is, just over £5 a pint. In London, it's now averaging £7 a pint, which is ludicrous. Absolutely ridiculous. In France, Saint-Tropez, half a beer is €11, but in the hills, you can get a glass of rosé for €3. So, prices in France are far better. Now, the Evening Standard today wrote about a man called Mr. Bailey, who runs a pub called the Robin Ale and Cider House in Stroud Green, N4. I'm not sure where Stroud Green is. It's in N4, but so it's North London, but I'm not sure where that is. I'm more of a South London person. Anyway, He says, startingly, most pints are priced between £4.74 and £5.22 in my pub at a time when £7 is becoming standard. I just take less money, says Bailey. That's fine, I'm happy with that. He shakes his head, mentioning a nearby Tide pub selling cask ale for £6.65. The truth of the matter is, pubs are struggling, and that's true. But I'm busy all the time, and we sell more beer. You can only charge so much for a pint. This man is bang on the nail. Customers should not be exploited. And it is very good that Jeremy Hunt decided to freeze alcohol duty, and especially for pubs and bars and restaurants, as opposed to supermarkets. Now, we are all overpaying for far too many goods. The price of things have gone up too much in this country, and as Pennine County says, the pint of piss, they're taking the piss. They are indeed. That is completely true. Chris hasn't drunk alcohol for 30 years. I've smoked a barn full of wacky backy. Oh dear. Well, each to their own, but unfortunately, the price of tobacco is going up, and especially, packaged tobacco and all the rest of it, I believe. Paulie says the prices are ridiculous in pubs. Well, we can't disagree with Paulie. The VAT rate should be brought down. Well, I would agree with that, Bernadette. £7 for a large glass of white wine. Oh my God, what a shock. I walked into a pub recently in London, and it was £16 for a glass of house white wine in a pub in Chelsea. That is beyond the pale. Absolutely shocking, ridiculous, and wrong. And Dishy Rishi might not be a drinker or a smoker, but the rest of us want to enjoy our lives. So, come on, Conservative Prime Minister, man up, grow up, and show up and support the bloody bar industry instead of pretending and drinking your lemonade. You're an absolute bore. Total waste of space, he is. I went to a place in Ramsgate. I will not be going back there ever again. It's called the Little Ships. They're going to get a thumbs down. I have to say, I ordered one gin and tonic house double and one glass of white wine. The bill was 40 something pounds. Ridiculous. These people are having a laugh at you and I. That is crazy. So no, I won't be going back there. We had two of those. So that was 80 quid. Fantastic. Not really a place that I would ever recommend to anyone other than the village idiot. If you were born in a barn and you're absolutely off your trolley, head to that place. That's the one that is not on my recommend list. I'm not normally negative about local businesses, but that business is having a fucking laugh. Absolute morons. Anyway, I shall have to say, in Parliament, the pint of beer is, according to Chris, 67, £3.45. Well, it would be, because they look after their own, they feather their own nests. Shame on them. So that's where we're up to with that. Anyway, we may take a brief break so I can refill my glass, and I will be back within 1 or 2 minutes. I will be back very, very shortly, and I will be bringing a special guest. So stay there, viewers. I will be back. The special guest will be with us shortly, but in the meanwhile, we will move along to our next topic, which of course is Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew, or Randy Andy as he should rightly be known, has agreed, according to the Mail Online's or Daily Mail's Darren Poyle, a special settlement with a Turkish millionaire who has accused him of accepting 1.4 million of her money stolen by an alleged fraudster. Now, in this particular case, neither Prince Andrew nor the Duchess of York are accused of being involved in a fraud, but they accepted money, 1.4 million, from a former Goldman Sachs banker named Selman Turk. Now, I've been following this case for quite some time. And, you know, even one of his daughters got 25,000. This woman got a passport, and Fergie appeared in pictures with Selman Turk. The money has supposedly been repaid, but isn't this yet another example of greedy and needy getting involved with the wrong people? Pizza ex-prince, says Nicole. Tim Fowler, both greedy. Angela asked, did they pay the money back? We don't know what the settlement is, but they are not accused of any wrongdoing, according to the Mail. So, but they have been involved with this person. This is another example of why on earth did This Morning invite these two on to the show. You know, well, this one, the Duchess of York, why was she invited on to the program when this is going on? This is all a matter of spin by the couple who should be thrown in the bin. These two should be hurled in onto the Bibby Stockholm and thrown out with the detritus, because they have no qualities worthy of being involved with the royal family. They are a pair of dunces. They are worse than the village idiot. Enough is enough. And that is where we shall leave them at. And she's wretched, says Tim. Shove Fergie and Andy on the boat, says Angela. Well, I've already suggested that, but you are quite right. Bambi says, where is the guest approaching? Yes, well, the guest is downstairs, but anyway, he shall be coming to join shortly. Another pair of grifters, says Rue. And oh, well, we're getting all sorts of comments in about how you don't like them. Commercial TV is desperate for viewers. Fergie is like clickbait for telly. Trevor says downstairs in Broadstairs. Well, Trevor, I'm not sure if Trevor is which Trevor, but it could be the one I think it is, but I'm not sure it is. So Linda Jo says, surely she won't be a regular. Well, they were doing a test. That was a test to see if it was worthwhile. Right. Telly Savalas. Well, he used to live in Lowndes Square. That's all I can tell you about him. Didn't know him, never met him, but I'm sure he was a lovely gentleman, unlike this lot. Anyway, where is Mr. Gorse? Not available this evening, clearly. He's obviously doing other things. He's a very busy gentleman. He used to be my French teacher at school. So there we go. Mr. Gorse is not available on this particular occasion. There we go. Right. I don't know where the guest is. Is the guest coming to join us or not? It seems the guest is not coming to join us at the very moment, so we shall carry on with other stories. And the other story is a story I shall recommend you read, which is The Guardian today covered the story of Michael Stone and Lynn and Megan Russell, and 26 years later, 2 appeals, 2 trials, and how Michael Stone's case is being reviewed. Now, Michael Stone is in prison for the murder of these people. It is a tragic, tragic story. Those poor people that were murdered in a country lane in cold blood. Now, whatever our thoughts are on who did it, always remember the victim. And the victims in this case, are the people who remain. The sister who had brain injuries, the father of the child who had to see his daughter grow up with trauma, and now this man Levi Belfield is claiming he did it, but he's a known liar. He's a horrible man, but this wasn't his traditional type of killing. So do we believe in any of this? And this article by someone called Sarin Kale is a very interesting article in The Guardian. The Russell murders. Is Michael Stone in prison for a brutal crime he didn't commit? And she has spoken with lawyers, including Mark MacDonald, who represented him in this man, Michael Stone, in the Criminal Cases Review Commission, who are interested in this case yet again. Carla Austin says Belfield is a fantasist. I would tend to agree with you. Belfield is an evil, evil rat. And he is playing the game to try and get more attention for himself, because many people who are of this type, serial killers, they go after attention. That is part of the reason they do this. They love to be infamous. They couldn't care less if they were famous for doing something good or something bad. But since they can't be famous for doing something good, they have to be famous for doing something bad. And that is what I think he is up to. And this article is a fascinating article. It's a very long read, but I urge you to read it. It is a fascinating analysis of this case and the wicked, chubby-cheeked monster Levi Belfield. And it concludes with a number of points that are quite relevant, I would say. Stone has been a prisoner for 26 years. After his first conviction, he was certain he'd get out. Someone said, you might have to do 20 years. I said, I don't believe you. He's been in prison for the death of Princess Diana, 9/11, the invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq, Brexit, the election of Donald Trump, coronavirus, and the death of the Queen. They've robbed me of my life, he says. He is prepared for the probability that he might die behind bars. The plan, says Stone, is to put me here until I die. They were believing that I wouldn't last 10 years, but I've lasted for 10 years and all the rest on top. In the background, I can hear the din of Stone's fellow inmates, dominoes clattering, people waiting for the phone, all the commotion of prison life, his entire world for nearly 30 years. I'm mentally prepared and mentally set to always fight this conviction, Stone says, until the bitter end. He says of other prisoners, I've been in prison where everyone wants to attack me all together, throwing boiling liquids at me, stab me. Now he says no one bothers them. In their hearts, he says, they know I'm innocent. Now, I have to say, I don't know about this case. I don't know enough about it, but I'm very interested that various people are interested in this case. Andrew Malkinson, who was convicted of rape in 2004 and has been subsequently released. People like this lady called Emily Bolton of the Miscarriage of Justice Charity Appeal, who is a very courageous lady who does a lot of very good work. And this is what I have to say makes me interested in this story. I do not know enough about it to comment on it, but I know that only 3% of cases that are referred to the Criminal Cases Review Commission actually go back to appeal, and that is a big problem in this country. We do not deal with justice properly in this country. It is highly disappointing, and I think that's very, very sad. Trevor asks me, is this about the Range Rover murders in Essex? No, it's nothing to do with that. That is a case involving a bunch of scumbags who got shot in their Range Rovers, and I've seen all the photographs, and I know various people connected with those scumbags. They weren't pleasant people. It does not mean that they needed to be murdered. Nobody should be murdered, and nobody should have had their brains blown out in the way that they did. But it does not mean that they were good people. So there we are. Who is responsible for the demise of the Conservative Party? Peaky Blinder asks, not Peaky Blinders, but Peaky Blinder. Okay, well, Peaky Blinder, who is responsible for the demise of the Conservative Party? The current Foreign Secretary, David Cameron. I blame him for everything. He never needed to call that stupid referendum. He should have taken over Europe, not caved in and become a coward, but that's what he is. Anyway, it looks likely that our visitor is not joining us. I think the visitor is too busy to talk to us, but we will see. Have I watched The Boathouse yet, BBC? I spoke about The Boathouse yesterday, CJ. I'm just going to turn the plug on my computer on because we're about to die. Oh dear. Okay, the plug has fallen out of the computer. I don't know whether our guest is joining us or not, but he's coming in a moment. He's coming now, allegedly. Any update on the Chinese lady in London? Yes, well, the Chinese lady in London will be removed from the property on the 16th of December. She is another example of a nasty piece of toe rag. We don't like people who cheat people. Cheats are never to be welcomed. So there we go. Right, David is going to be coming to join us.
All right, I'll do that.
The famous David can have to sit here.
All right then.
He will sit here and he will help with our quiz.
Okay. What do you want me to sit?
You have to sit here. Here he is. We don't need the cushions.
All right then.
That looks a bit ridiculous.
Oh.
Here you are. So say hello to David. David is here for the quiz. David has joined for the quiz. So we've gone through various topics, and they're all saying, hi, David. Good man, David.
Thank you, guys.
Nicole says, Matthew won't be cheating on me. Well, there we are.
Oh.
I don't know. Welcome, David. The Boathouse. You all like The Boathouse. Well, The Boathouse is a very good series. Now, David will choose a page for the quiz, and we have to choose a page of a random questions, not anything specific. It has to be the page on the right-hand side in this book, it seems. That is the key to the matter. But David is wearing away. He's taking his time.
Oh, use this one.
Right, he's doing potluck. Potluck on right. So We have to mark the page so we don't visit again, given that so many of you complain.
Yeah.
And David will help with the quiz questions. And our lovely Debbie McGee will also be helping by keeping notes. Victoria Haig is in the building, the lovely Vicky. Hello, Victoria. So there we go. Harriet, you please keep score. David will be dealing with the answers. I will read the questions and you can read the answers.
All right then. Not a
Right.
problem.
There we go. So question number 1. The North Pole. He needs a cushion. I don't know why he needs a cushion, but
cushion makes it easier.
oh,
Okay.
it does not look very appealing with the cushion, but there we go. Each to their own.
Yeah.
Right. Question number 1. Hello, Victoria. Is the North Pole of which planet is shaped in an almost perfect hexagon? Right. You've got to watch the answers. Right.
Oh.
The winner is Simon Coates with Saturn.
Simon Coates.
No, you don't have to make notes.
Oh, all right.
No, Bambi Debonair is keeping notes.
Oh, that's all right then.
But you're meant to be helping.
Saturn.
Oh, he's not quite got the purpose of his visitation.
Well,
Yes, but anyway.
yeah,
Anyway, you can keep notes as well. Okay, right.
Yeah, all right,
okay,
then.
you keep notes as well. So we have double scoring tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 scores on the doors, missed doors are double. Right. Question number 2. Well, this is a very easy one. Tequila is made from which variety of cactus? A very easy question. I don't need to even look, but it is not peyote. It's not seguro. It's not baked beans, and it's not arse. It's not aloe. You really are the weakest links. You really don't know anything about tequila. It's very clear. I don't even drink tequila, but I know the answers.
I like tequila. Tequila's nice.
David thinks that tequila is nice. It's not made from Cilla Black. Well, she's a rotting corpse in the middle of a grave, so I don't think you want to make it from her. Chili Careen gets the point. Chili Careen with agave. Yes. Chili Careen is the winner of the point. Question number 3. Which scoring space is found in the corners of a Scrabble board? Now, hello.
Oh, Matthew has a Scrabble board.
I have a Scrabble board. I have terrible friends. Nobody will play Scrabble with me. It's very sad because I love Scrabble. I haven't had a game of Scrabble in months, maybe a year. It's very, very sad that I bothered to buy another Scrabble board because I've got so many in my storage vault. I really love Scrabble. So what's your answer? Right. It's not a triple red. No, we can't call it that. But you are close, but you are equally far. It's not called a triple red. Orsini gets the point with triple word. We can't call it triple red, I'm afraid. We have to have the correct answers. I'm going to be strict with you all, and David will be learning to play Scrabble properly shortly. I think, hopefully, he says. Do you like words?
Not much.
He doesn't like words. He likes numbers. I like words.
I like numbers.
Right. Question number 4. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. Are the opening lines to which song? It's not Triple Sec, and it's not Hi Harry. Wills wins the point. Wills with My Girl. Well done to Wills. So here we are. We've got notes in the background, and we've also got our wonderful Harriet taking notes also. So between the two of you, we'll get there in the end. Question number 5. Sam Quek won an Olympic gold medal in which sport? Sam Quek. I've never heard of him. Can't say I'm interested in it. Bernadette wins the point with hockey. Bernadette.
Hopefully it's not my manager, Bernadette.
Right. Kelpers are people living in or native to which British overseas territory? Think of a war where Randy Andy had to go and he lost the ability to sweat. It was not the Shetland Islands. It wasn't Scottish. And Hey Tigers wins the point with the Falkland Islands. Remember that Prince Andrew lost the ability to sweat in the Falkland Islands. Then he had to go to Pizza Express. Very sad for him, isn't it? Right. Question number 7. On account of his poor skills in battle, which English king had the nickname Lackland? Now, I didn't know this myself. The king who had the nickname Lackland.
Oh, yeah. No.
It wasn't the Isle of Wight. It was King John. Well done, Bambi Debonair. I have never heard of this. King John is King Lackland. What a horrible thing to be called. He must have been very bad. Question number 8. In computing terminology, what does the acronym LAN stand for? Right. None of you seem to know this. Local area network. David gets the point. I thought David was the David sitting next to me, but there's obviously another David.
I saw that yesterday.
Oh, yes. We've got lots of Davids. So David 1 and David 2, by the look of it. Right. So question number 10, your halfway house. Silbury Hill in Wiltshire is the largest what in Europe? Okay, that's question number 10. Right. Right. No, it's not a burial mound. It's not a swinger's paradise. No, Anth didn't swing into action there. It's not a burial mound or a compost heap or a man-made mound. You need to get the actual answer. You're getting close. It's not a cheese factory or a chalk down or a lump. It's not full of Kit Kat eaters or a river or a tip. It's not an ancient mound. It's man-made. You're all close, but you haven't got the correct description for the book. It's not a UK pyramid, but no, you're all close. But none of you have actually said the right answer, so we will discount the question. It's not a mini cheddar, no. Anna Perkins came closest with artificial mound, but she put the word chalk in the middle. So I think we will discount the question. The answer to the question is artificial hill. So some of you came close, but you didn't get quite close enough. So we will discount that question. The next question. A daffodil appears on the badge of which Welsh county cricket team? So you have to answer the name of the county. The county is required. Anna Perkins wins with Glamorgan. Glamorgan is the answer. Anna Perkins, well done. Right. Crucere. This is. I'm going to probably say this incorrectly. Cruceriblasts are lovers of what type of puzzle? I've never heard of them. Nicola Crompton is complaining she came first. We do everything in order in our thing, the order we see it on our screen, so stop moaning. Don't be boring. Thank you. Bambi Debonair wins the point for this particular one with crossword. But no more complaining. Anyone who complains will be banned. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you kindly. Don't you agree, David?
Yeah.
We don't like whinging whiners, do we?
Yep.
No whinging. You've got to make an opinion.
Yeah, I have the same opinion.
No, we don't. We don't seem to. We can't help the order we see things in. We're not trying to be biased. If you don't like it, you don't have to join in. I'm very sorry. We can only play along the way we see it. So it's not Cilla Black who is the winner here. It is you or somebody else. There we go. Right. Next question. In musical terms, what type of note is twice as long as a quaver? Angela says David's sitting on the fence.
Well, I tend to be
Angela-
diplomatic, so
David wants to be diplomatic. But Angela Thompson, the lovely Angela, the mother of Jeffrey, wins with crotchet. Angela Thompson is the winner.
yeah,
Well done, Angela. We love Angela. Well, we love you all, but Angela is a very enthusiastic follower of the Steeple Times and many other things. So thank you, Angela. Now here we are.
Hey, hi Max. Max is in the chat.
Where's Max?
There's Max.
Where?
Max. Under the Harriet sticks.
Oh, hello, Max. I thought you were coming around for a gin, Max. Where are you? Let's be having you.
Yeah, we already had a couple.
We've already had a couple and we need more of you. Who knows? We might go to the magnet afterwards. We may be expecting you. Anyway, the next question, number 13. Andrea, Sharon, Caroline, and Jim formed which Irish sibling band? And I have a story about these ones. The Cause, so Hey Tigers wins. Hello to Max McConnell. And yes, there was a young lady I know called, she was in Biker Grove, and her name is escaping me at the moment. It'll come to me in a moment. But she was married to, she had a child with Damien Aspinall. She wasn't married to him. I stand corrected. And her name will come to me in a moment, was Donna Eyre. And Donna Eyre went from Biker Grove to present a program on MTV. And she was asked to interview Andrea, Sharon, Caroline, but not Jim, as far as I'm aware. And she asked them, where did you all meet? Well, they were siblings. That was why she became known as Donna Airhead. Anyway, Donna is a very nice person, and she has a lovely daughter, Freya, and she's a delightful person, but she is a bit dim, let's be honest. There we go. Donna, if you're watching, I do apologize for offending you. Anyway, there we go. Question 14. Which is the largest moon in the solar system? Harriet says Donna dated James Middleton. Yes, she also dated Ben Carrington, who I also know. Yes, so she's dated quite a few people I know. There we go. The answer is Ganymede and Simon Coates. Oh no, Anna Perkins got there first with Ganymede. Anna Perkins gets the point. Ganymede. Right. Tofu, disgusting stuff, is made from mashed up what?
Tofu's nice.
Oh, David likes tofu. I think it's disgusting.
It's not soy.
Montecute wins with soya.
Is it? Oh.
Soya beans. So Montecute wins the point. And the next question. Which musical instrument is used in the Guinness logo? Well, that's a very easy answer. Well, David gets it with harp, even though he spells it incorrectly. But we will accept David as the winner of that point because David is becoming an enthusiastic follower. So we will accept his answer, even though he doesn't have good spelling. Please, David, improve your spelling because I thought you were the other David, but now we know you're not. So,
Right. 3 Davids.
Yes. And Max, the Irishman, comes in with harp also. So he's playing his harpsichord also this evening.
Well, it's a tie at the moment. So somebody...
Right. So question 17. Which actor played Davy Jones in the Pirates of the Caribbean film series and Billy Mack in Love Actually?
Easy one.
You're not to answer questions, David, here.
But the other David answered it.
It was not Johnny Depp. No, that's not correct. And it wasn't my dear old friend Robin Williams, who is sadly brown bread. But no, the answer is Simon Coates wins the point. Or with Simon Coates wins with Bill Nighy. Simon Coates can have the point because he gave the full name. We have to have the full name. It was not Anthea Turner. It wasn't Boris Johnson. And it wasn't Ian McShane. I think Ian McShane is one of the most fine actors on the planet. I love the program. Lovejoy. So, right, we're on to question 18. Which London borough, also its most populous, has a name which is also a slang term for hair? So think of Cockney rhyming slang. It is not Camden or Hackney. Bambi Debonair wins with the Barnet. You know, your hair is your Barnet. Yes. Right. Question number 19, your penultimate question. 92220 Evening Star was the last example of what built in Britain? It's not Knightsbridge, no. It's not a rocket. I will accept train from Peaky Blinder, even though it was actually a steam locomotive. It wasn't David Cameron as Prime Minister. He should be thrown in the Bibby Stockholm and down the well. He is a disgrace. Shame on him. Anyway, the final question, which could decide everything, or it might need some more. Which 2 London Underground lines run to Heathrow Airport? I went on one the other day. Poor old me. Which 2? We need both. We need 2 of the London Undergrounds. We can't have one. If you give one, we don't accept your answer. It is not Victoria and Piccadilly. No. It is not Jubilee and Victoria. It's not Northern and District. It's not Piccadilly and Oxford. There's no such thing as an Oxford line, as far as I'm aware. It's not Victoria Station and King's Cross. No. Some of you are getting one of them, but you're not getting... It's not Wellington and Hounslow. There's no such line. That's not a line. They may be stations amongst some of them. It's not Boris Johnson and Anthea Turner. They do not have stations or lines named after them. Right. It is not Elizabeth and Victoria, no. It's not the Heathrow and Peckham. Gosh, you really are the weakest links when it comes to transport, you people. You really would not do well travelling on the London infrastructure. Right. Well, we have a winner. Busted. The Piccadilly and Elizabeth lines. Busted is the winner. Do we have an overall winner or not?
As for me, it's Bambi.
According to the gentleman next to me,
it's Bambi, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Bambi is the winner, but Harriet, do you have a winner yourself? Harriet, hello, Harriet. Do you agree with the judgment? Because we've had a double judge.
I might be wrong. End of the day. So
right.
It's Bambi. Yay.
Yes. Well, the pair of you agree. Bambi Debonair is the winner. Yes, again. Bambi Debonair seems to be very good at quizzes. So well done to Bambi Debonair. Nice quiz book. So that's the end of this quiz. So thank you very much, and thank you to you all. I don't know if you have any questions for David. Do you have any questions for David, given he's a special guest this evening? Here we are in the winter sitting room area, and he's got his cushion, which looks ridiculous.
I like my cushion.
He likes the cushion. He says, Spooky Spoon says, don't go already. Have we got a question? Does David have a website? No, he doesn't have a website.
No, I don't have a website. I'm there in the social media, but pretty much it.
You can follow David on the social media, yes. Yeah. Follow him on the Instagram. I don't know, what is your Instagram account?
Oh, Mr. Legendary.
Mr. Legendary. There you go.
With double underscores.
With double underscores.
It's Mr.
That's
underscore legendary double underscore. That's me.
That's him. So if you'd like to follow him, what's for dinner tomorrow? Asks Max. Well, are you cooking dinner for us, Max? We'd like you to cook dinner.
No, it's Mr. underscore legendary double underscore. That's me.
Oh, Mr. Legendary underscore double.
No, it's Mr. underscore legendary double underscore.
Right.
Does he want to come to our wedding, Matthew? You're getting married. Sorry? I didn't know that.
I'm not getting married at this stage. No.
I'll definitely come for Matthew's wedding.
At the moment, I'm not.
Yeah.
Yes, Bambi has corrected the Instagram, I believe.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, David is cooking.
Do you eat mini cheddars? Of course I do. Matthew has bulk load of mini cheddars.
We've only got one packet left. We need more. Please send more mini cheddars to the magnet, because they're very hard to get hold of in Broadstairs, I have to say.
And we have plenty of gin.
No, we need more gin.
Yeah.
We always need more gin. Gin is always welcome in this household.
Every day is a gin day here, pretty much.
Yes, we like gin, and gin is in.
Oh, what is my favorite crisp? I would say Lay's, but it's close to Walker's here. So that's it. Alcoholic beverage.
But you got used to mini cheddars.
Yeah, I like cheddars. Yeah.
He likes mini cheddars.
Alcoholic beverage. I like tequila.
You like gin?
Gin, yeah.
You like number 3 gin?
I like number 3 and Somerset.
He likes Somerset. He loves the Somerset gin.
We had Somerset yesterday. I still have Somerset now. So.
Well, here we go. We keep going, and we rock and roll. We do get on with lots of things. Number 3 gin is Max. Max likes number 3 gin.
No.
As does Viv from the Magnet. Viv from the Magnet is a big fan of number 3 gin.
I live in Broadstairs here at the moment, so.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't live in States. I live here.
Ah, well. They put mini lights in the number 3 bottle.
Nicole, you can give the kiss by yourself.
Right. Did we see alcohol duty had been frozen? Yes, I talked about that earlier and celebrated it. It's
my favorite Matthew Steeples line. There are plenty.
Oh,
I forgot what the.
Oh, well, here we are. Like a comedy duo act. Here we are. He's got his cushion.
No, I'm not. It's not the cushion part. It's just like.
I don't know.
It's the work thing. Yeah.
Can you say jingle jangle jewelry?
Jingle jangle jewelry.
You got to say it fast.
No, I can't do that. It'll be like I'll be muddled up. I can't.
Jingle jangle jewelry.
Jingle jangle jewelry.
There you go. He's capable of saying it. Please tell David. I think he's a gent.
Thank
you.
Well,
he's a gent. I agree. He's a very generous gentleman, and we have a jolly old time. And we're probably going to go and have one last drink at the Magnet. So we are going to celebrate the Magnet. So if you wish to send more mini cheddars or more gin or more books or whatever you wish to send to the Magnet.
Come on, Harriet. You should be on my side.
We have to go to the Magnet shortly to see our friend Steve, the lovely barman. We love Steve, and we're going to go and pay him a little visit just for 10 minutes.
They're asking where I'm from. I'm from India. I was born and brought up in India. came here as a student, then I'm here now.
Well,
it is what it is.
Yes, it is what it is. I don't like
Yeah.
that phrase because that's a phrase a security guard who used to work for us used to come out with, and he used to go, "It is what it is." And I used to nearly want to beat him with a book because he was so irritating. And he also used to like watching videos of Hitler. He was a very strange person, and he was known as the Sleeve because he had tattoos all the way down his arms.
I'm from the southern bit.
But
For
David is
people
a
who
much
wants
more
to
pleasant person, but he did
Yeah.
not know that it is what it is not a phrase to use.
I don't know. I like the phrase. It worked for me.
Oh,
Like,
well, we're going to get you off that phrase because it's a terrible one.
yeah.
Born in a barn, yes. It is something that I often use, yes.
Oh.
Were you born in a
No.
barn? Were you born in a ditch? Were you born on the floor? Were you born in nowhere? You know, it's a
Humanity,
terrible thing. Right. Take us to the magnet, please, on your phone. Well, we may do a live video, a fireside chat one day from the magnet.
Yeah.
It could be a pleasant thing to do. Can David say Fergay?
Fergay.
You have to emphasize the Fergay.
Fergay. that sounds gay.
So there we go.
So Anna's
Right.
asking, do I go back to India? Oh, I went back to India, came back.
Yes, he's been to India at least once this year.
Yeah, once a year. I do go back. Can I come back?
Did he watch the cricket?
I don't like cricket.
He doesn't like cricket.
I'm not into sports. Don't like cricket.
I've been to more cricket games than him.
I'm into tech.
He's into
Ask me about tech.
And he likes what's that name of that rapper who got murderer?
Oh, you mean this guy, Melly?
Melly, yes, he's very interested in a rapper called Melly. There you go. That's one of his stories that he would like me to explore more of. So we will visit that on another chapter when he's a guest. And we're going to be having further guest visitations in the coming days and weeks from Victoria Haig, racehorse trainer.
Max is saying magnet closes in 30 minutes.
35 minutes. Well, Max, we will meet you at the magnet.
Yeah, magnet.
Let's see you at the magnet. If you can turn up, we'll be there. We're going to walk there right now. But I'm going to say, before we go, we'll be having Victoria Haig back, perhaps from Broadstairs, or perhaps live from Paris, or perhaps from
thanks,
from Deauville, or perhaps also we'll have June, who loves Boris and Brexit, even though I loathe Boris and Brexit, and we may be having other visitors. There could be all manner of other visitors because so many of you asked if I will do more interviews with other people, but David here is going to be doing more programs with me because David is like a family. We're a bit like a comedy duo act here at the moment. So we're heading to the magnet now, and we hope to see Max there. And we will be doing a video from there in due course. So could I say thank you very much to you all? We've done nearly 1.5 hours, which is quite a lot for us. We say thank you very much. Good night, good gardening. And as the late, great Jill Dando always said, don't have nightmares. Okay, David says good night. But I say thank you ever so much. Take care and good night. Goodbye.